Hello guys. So today, right, from today we're going to start our CSS. Uh, the document we're going to follow is for CSS and also HTML, right? w3school.com. Okay, I'm going to quickly read few basic things from here because W3 School has, I think, the best document I can say, right? Easy to understand. You can practice even here, right? You know. So, without any delay, let's start. Introduction, right? Let's look at the introduction, okay? CSS is language we use to style our web page. One line, okay? Just read through this. Full form is cascading style sheet, right? Basically, you have HTML page where you add all your markdown, right? To display your content in the website, okay? And then we use CSS for adding some design, right? Some like a just to make your website looks better. Okay, example here, all right? So you can see there is different uh, click button, right, where you can click and you can look at the different styles. Okay, four will be like this. uh no style, this is no style, right? So let's go back to the style one and we get back here. Okay, simple homepage. This is a head section, right? Sidebar, a navigation, main content, and on the right sidebar also, right? So the left navigation bar here, or left sidebar, or left side area, you can call it, right? The middle one, the main content, and then the right sidebar, right? And then there is a footer. So this is simple structure, right? So now we understand CSS is used for styling our page, right? The next thing is how we gonna write CSS. What is the syntax, right? Basically syntax. How you gonna connect to your web page. So what I will do, I'm going to start with this. I just open my CSS folder, right? And here I'm going to create a new folder. Let's call it CSS maybe one, right? Okay. So let me go back and open CSS1 as a main working folder, right? So open folder, and in CSS, I'm just going to open this. I need index page. Okay. Change the title. Next, we add one more file. We call it style, right? So the way we write CSS, first thing, right? Basically, you can write CSS in three different places. Okay. So let's start with the inline CSS, right? Let's say I have heading one. I'll just use lower m, maybe 5, right? Quick text. Then you just add here style, right? Style attribute. This is called attribute. Attribute provides additional information to this h1, right? Let's call it additional uh, support, okay, or additional information for any element, right? That is called attribute. It has the name, equal, and the value, right? So style is the attribute, and then the value will be, let's make it color, right? For example, color, and then I'm going to make it red. Okay, so my text must be it is red now, right? You can add many. Each property and value separate with the semicolon, right? So I can say, like font size maybe, right? This is the next property, and let's make it extra large, right? Okay, separate with semicolon. So we go live view now. Right click, open with live server, and you're going to see this, right? Good. Okay, So inline style, next will be in the head, right? Head section. So you call tag called style, and here you can write the CSS for any element, right? So let's say I have paragraph here, and I'll use one complete paragraph from the lorem text. I can select this. I'm saying selecting. I'm selecting something. Okay, that is paragraph, right? So here I can again add color to be orange, and font size, or let's make it maybe 20, or let's make it 30 pixel, right? And check now. So you can see this style also, right? Okay, so 20 pixel, sorry, font family, sorry guys, here is font family, right? I must, font family, you can you can use any font family, right? If you have let's use Verden. Okay, this is font family. Okay, and font size 30 pixel, must be a little big, right? So when I saw that, I say, oh no, something wrong. So see here, font size. Okay, so this is style tag which we can use inside our head section. See, in the head, right, we can add something which is not displaying in the page, but we can, we can call our JavaScript file, we can call our CSS, right? And, there will be meta tags and all those things in our head section. Okay, which provides support to our HTML, right? Let's call it support, simple way. Now this is internal CSS. How you gonna connect with the external, right? This file, and this is the final way of doing our work, right? Always, because you're not gonna write all your CSS inline or here, because that's gonna make your page like too big, right? Messy. So we're gonna call our external file here. So the way you can call is a link tag now, right? See, this is a link tag, and it has attribute relation, rel, and this href, right? So rel attribute or relation attribute is called style sheet, because we're going to connect our style sheet, right? And then href will be like address from where. So dot slash, remember that dot slash, because this index page is inside CSS1, right? So dot slash will give me everything inside this folder, CSS-1 folder, everything. Right now I just have style CSS, I can connect. Let's say I have a maybe folder here, right? Call it style, for example. And also maybe I have a folder called image, maybe, right, in the future. So if I put my style in this folder, I can move, right? Now let's delete this. And if I do dot slash, I'm gonna get this style folder. See that? Everything inside CSS-1. So I'll call style, and inside style I have style CSS file also, right? Good. So that's how you're gonna connect your CSS. Now I'm gonna delete this, right? I'm gonna delete this or comment out maybe. So that's how you make comment in your CSS, guys. Okay, or basically HTML comment, not CSS, but this is HTML comment. You start with, because we are in the HTML page, right? You start with bracket and exclamation dash dash, right? See, and here we write our comment. So this is HTML comment, remember that. Okay, so any line, right, anywhere you need to put comment, anywhere, even here, you can follow this pattern. Good. So the comment will be not displaying in the page, right? Comment help us to understand what exactly we're trying to do here, right? We write like some informative text inside our comment. So anyone looking at your page, right, or this code, they know what to do here. Okay? So I'm going to delete this, no need. I'm going to delete inline also, right? And then let's go back to our external styles. So I will, for now I'm going to, you know, if I go back, right, let's go back here. So refresh. Look at here, look at this space. There is some space on the top between the paragraph and all, right? So what happened, right? Normally browser provides some padding margin. So we're going to learn in all those property, right? Later. Okay, for now, let's just add simple style, heading one, and I can call it color, right? Red, red. Because I have already connected this to my index page. See, it will work, right? So that's how you apply CSS. Now let's break it down. This is called selector, then curly bracket, right? And then you always gonna add property and value. So you're gonna have, you know, in CSS, what we learn, right? We learn property and value. We learn how to select, and then we learn different property and then different value, right? In CSS, everything is property, okay? Everything you're gonna learn is property and value. If I want to increase the font size, so I can call it font size property and make it 100, right? Pixel. If I do that, it will be like a big, right? So property and value is important. Select. So now how we can select element, right? So syntax here, you see selector, that is H1, right? And then declaration, which is go inside the curly bracket. You have property and value. Simple enough, right? Read through this. Now is selector. How you gonna select, right? So CSS selector are used to find or select HTML elements you want to style. Very easy to understand. What I'm gonna do, right? I'm gonna talk about only this selector, but you guys can read through all this, right? Okay. As you understand more, anytime you come back here and just read the different and complex way of selecting element, not complex but different way, right? 90% I believe we just use this one, but sometimes you have to combine or group things, right? You have to make some selection in the complex places, right? So in those area you're gonna have to find a way, or you have to use these selection, right? But we can come back again in the future, right? And then talk about these again. But for now, easy to understand, there is three things: name, ID, and class, right? So name is what? Name is basically, see that this is a paragraph tag, and you call the p tag, right? That is called name. So any element name you call it, that is called name selector. Okay. ID is a selector, use the ID attribute. See, attribute now. So what is attribute? So I can go to any element and I can add ID, right? Attribute always start with name of the attribute equal to and the value, right? Here. So name, like we have relation attribute, href attribute. Look at here, an equal, and then quotation mark, right? Quotation, and then you give the value here. So I can call it, let's call it anything, you know, h1, right? Or heading one, right? You can give any name here, because we are the one who defining the ID. So we give the name to the ID. How you select this ID now? This is with hash, right? And heading one. That's it. And now I'm going to give a color, right? Color to red, and font size again to 100 pixel. So let's go back. You see that red already selected. See that? And I can say 100 pixel change, right? I mean, you can see the change here. So this is ID selection. ID will be unique. You cannot use heading 1 again within this space. No, you cannot do that, right? So remember, when you have a special element or like unique element you want to identify, right? Unique means with one name, then you can use ID. Now next one is class, right? Class attribute. So class is like a, the same name can be used to many elements. So I can call it maybe P1, right? Let's call it this. And I have a H2. That's too much. Maybe I'll just make it small text, right? So here I can call it class again and P2, right? P1, okay? I can do that. So if I go back here, in the way you select class is dot P1, then you write your style. So let's make, see, I want, the fonts, let's say I want maybe the font size same for this paragraph and heading 1, right? I mean, normally we don't do, but just to test, right? Or maybe same color, uh, you know, look at that. Okay. Now here, right, even I can give different name h2, right? And then I can go back because I want little bit different h2 also with the font size and all those, right? So I can say dot h2 and I can say font size will be 50 pixels. So see, I just select h2 with class, right? Or even you should have use id, but remember, if there is same style for these two, you can give same class and then add additional class name with space and use that class name for something extra, right? I hope that is clear. So far what we have learned, we learn how to create style css file, external file, connect inside css. So in the head section, right, you call this link tag, and then basically you add your href here, right, the address of your file. And after that we have our html, and we gonna basically add class id or maybe name, right, and start adding this properties value. Basically select, then you put your property and value, right? Okay, so we finish with our selection now. Let's go to how, right? So that is external, internal, and inline. We look at all three. Comments, how you write comments in css, this is the way, right? So see, if I want to add comments in css, what I can do, let's say this is some comment, right? I mean, I just select and control, I think what the control slash, right? And you can get that comment, okay? Or you can slash like that and star, right? And add, this is css comment, and put star back with slash. So this will be comment. Now these things will be not appear or do any effect to your website. Okay, this is just for information, right? In like any notes you want to add on inside this page, you can put in the comment. So we now understand, I mean, HTML comment, CSS comment as well. So error, what is this error, right? Uh, Error, right? Error is in CSS can lead to unexpected behavior or style not being applied correctly. This page shows some common CSS mistakes and how to avoid them, right? Missing semicolon. Okay, here, that is fine. Invalid property name, right? Like look at the color, right? COLR. So it will give you error. Good. Value also, right? With, so correct properties, but invalid value will also be ignored, right? So minus 100 pixel, bad, right? Padding 20 pixel and margin, and this curly bracket is missing, unclosed braces, right, missing. So extra colon also, right? These are some typo mistakes you should be avoiding, right? Now next is starting the property. So CSS properties, which will be start with the color property. It has a value, right? Like red, green, blue. So the color property, where you can apply, right? For what element? Like all elements has a color property. All elements you can apply color property, right? For example, just remember that for now. There is some exception. It's okay. Any element you select and apply color property like red, green, orange. You can see the name, right? That is one way. You can apply color to the border also, right? So you can see here on the left side there is some style, right? Okay, that is a border. Okay, you can apply color to the background, right? We call it background color also. Okay, but the color property is for text and for the border. Text can be color, right? Maybe red, green, blue, orange, purple, tomato. That is text color. Okay, here is a CSS text color. You can see that, right? And CSS border color also. So border, right? So every element you can apply border. Good. Two things, and there is a value for color, right? So this is the RGB red, green, blue value. You can put like that. This is the hex code, HSL code, right? RGBA, this is alpha, or we call it alpha value, right? The transparency. HSLA, right? Also, this is a alpha, I believe. In A is alpha value. The how much transparency you can add inside the color, right? So, guys, we understand color property, which can be used for border and for the text color, right? You can apply color for your background also. For now, you remember the name of the color and the hex code. Okay, this is a 6 value, right? So yeah, that is two things I want you to remember. Okay, so let's stop here for this small video, right? And then we're gonna continue the next topic in our next class. Okay, we're gonna start learning some of the very important properties of CSS, and then try to display or try to just demonstrate here, right? Practically, I will show you all those. Thank you again, guys.